Hello. Back to it. Back to the 7:30s. It's nice to be here. So I hope you're all well, ready to get moving. We're going to start seated. Have a block handy for a little bit later. So if you need, if you've got one, get hold of one. If not, it doesn't matter. We'll work it out. So sat cross-legged, hands on your knees. And let your eyes close down. I don't know what it's like in your house this morning, but everything is quiet here. And I'm recording this as well, so if you're doing it later, then hopefully you've got a little bit of quiet, a little bit of peace. If you aren't comfortable closing your eyes, just look down at your feet. And take a bit of time to settle. Notice if you've got tension in your shoulders and let them drop down the back. Notice if you've got tension in your jaw and let your jaw relax. So imagine your skeleton holding you up and all your muscles relaxing. And feel the air move freely in and out through your nose. Think of the breath in as feeding you, as nourishing you. And think of the breath out as letting go of anything that's not serving you, anything that keeps creeping in that you don't need. So your breath in is feeding you and nourishing you. Your breath out is letting go of anything that's not serving you. Slow your breathing down so you can really absorb those feelings with the inhale and the exhale. Breathing in, nourishing and feeding you. Breathing out, letting go of any stuff you don't need. Breath getting slower and deeper. Body and mind waking up. With every round of breath, dropping deeper within yourself. So you can truly spend this next 45 minutes all for you. So hopefully you've created a nice rhythm with your breathing now. And we'll try and keep hold of that rhythm. It's almost like your breathing is the soundtrack to your practice. Keep the breath flowing. Start to circle your shoulders. Just noticing as you circle your shoulders if you do still feel some tightness, some tension. And hopefully as you continue to circle, that the heat that you create will start to let go of that tension. Take the circles the other way. Explore, is there any restrictions there today? And keeping the shoulders still, let the right ear fall towards the right shoulder. And then bring the head back up, left ear towards left shoulder. Just moving from side to side. exploring each side of the neck. So as you drop the ear to one side, because you'll drop the opposite shoulder down, and kind of go like that, pulsing from side to side. Bringing the head back to the center, drop the chin to the chest, and then turn the face up to the sky. So just pulsing, chin to chest, head, face turning to the sky. And then letting the chin brush along the chest towards the right, and then brush along the chest towards the left. So just exploring how this feels. So for me, as my chin comes to my chest, I feel a little pull down my back. Definitely some stiffness in my spine today. And bringing the head back to the center. Just let your whole body curve. So you're tucking your tail and rounding your back, chin to chest. And I like to pull onto my knees here and see if I can round into my spine a little bit more. And then tilting the pelvis forwards, draw the shoulders back and open up the chest. Okay, try that a few times, pulsing forwards and back. And exploring how is your spine feeling. Is it a little bit stiff like mine today? And seeing if this movement can help start to awaken all the muscles, warm up the fascia, release any tension. Forwards and back. And the breath is still flowing as well. Inhaling and exhaling as you can. And the last time, bring yourself back up to neutral and then start to take the rib cage in a circle. So still breathing in and out through your nose and then exploring this little circle with the rib cage. That's it. And then taking the circle the other way. What you can think about is feeling the sitting bones and the bowl of your pelvis marking the floor. And then that should help you to guide the upper body. Take the circle the other way. A little bit like flossing your spine, flossing your back. That's it. Good. Coming back to neutral, so you could roll through into a child's pose or take the legs to the side. And we'll bring the knees close together. Have your hands by your side. Breathe in, lift your head and chest up. And then breathe out and fold over your legs. Walk the hands forwards. So relax your head down towards the floor. And to see how your back feels now. Hopefully there's a little bit more space there. Okay, and you're still breathing, filling yourself up with the breath in. Emptying yourself with the breath out. Breathing in, filling yourself up with goodness, with nutritious oxygen. And exhaling, letting go of any rubbish, any stale air, anything that's been hanging around that you don't need. Walk your hands over towards the right hand side. Okay, go as far as you can. Keep reaching your left fingers as far away as you can. Breathe into that left side. Just keeping the right hand where it is. Slide now your left arm underneath that arm and then see if you can lay the back of the arm onto the floor. And then lift yourself up and you're going to turn your left palm flat onto the floor, lean over towards the right, and then lay yourself back down, turning the palm back up. Okay, so just a little movement from over to the side and back down into the floor. Again, flossing, I'm liking that word. the left side of your body there. Using that palm to help you push yourself up. Okay, releasing the left arm, and then walk all the way over to the other side. So go as far over as you can. Reaching your right fingertips even further away, breathing into the side. And then slide your right arm underneath the left arm, turn the palm face up, and then lean into your right arm, letting your head fall towards the floor. And then picking yourself up, turning the right palm down, and then leaning back into it. Okay, so just from side to the center. Flossing your right side. And just making this movement suit you. Yeah, so something that I was playing with this morning that just felt nice. Let's see if it suits you as well. Okay, the last one. Okay, releasing the right hand. Walk your way back to the center. Walk your hands back towards your knees. That's it, and then opening your knees nice and wide. Should feel nice in your hips. Walk the hands forwards and then relax into the mat, forehead down into the floor there. How's those hips? How's those feet? Big breath in as you creep the fingers further forwards. And a long breath out. And walking the hands back up. Palms flat, come up onto all fours, bring your knees together. Your cat-cow is inhaling, letting the belly drop, lift the head and chest up. And then breathing out, push away from the mat, tuck your tail, spread the shoulder blades. Okay, 2 more times, inhale, let the belly drop, lift the head and chest up. And now play with bringing your heels into your bottom. So you're feeling the hamstrings, just be careful of your knees. Then pushing the shins down, tuck the tail, round your back, chin to chest. Last time, letting the belly drop, lift the head and chest up, and then squeeze the heels into the bottom. But yeah, be careful of your knees. Press your shins down, round into your back, and then chin into the chest. Coming back to neutral, now extend your right leg back and press your toes into the floor. So already I feel a very stiff calf there, so big breath in. As you breathe out, try and push the heel back like you're pushing it into a wall. You can encourage that by pushing back into the foot to lift the left knee off the floor. Feel like almost in a down dog. Lower the left knee back down, lift the right leg up. Start to circle that right leg, keeping the toes pointing downwards. We're going to incorporate half moon into our practice today. So I'm going to show you in this pose, like with one knee down, how we can try and find that opening of the hip without having to balance on one leg. So keeping the leg still now, start to just lift the right hip up so that the right toes turn towards the right. Stacking the hip. And then drop the hip back so it comes level again. Okay? And again, opening the right hip up, stacking it on top of the left. And then dropping the hip down. Okay, so explore how much the left leg is supporting the right leg as you stack the hip. And the toes turn towards the right. The toes turn to the right because you've moved the hip though. Yeah, you've moved the leg and the hip. And then drop the hip back down. And last time, stacking the hip, toes turning to the right. And then see if you can lift the leg a little bit higher. So the seam of your leggings or shorts or whatever you're wearing is lifting up towards the sky. Bend the knee and then draw a big circle with the knee. Yeah, so you might feel some sensations in that supporting leg. And that's because it is doing that. It's exactly doing that, supporting you while you engage that hip, the opposite hip. Take the circle the other way. Good. And then we'll take the right knee to the right wrist, right foot towards the left wrist, and then walk the back leg away into your pigeon. So come down onto your forearms, draw the chest forwards and push down through the back foot. Yeah, so if I was to come around, I wouldn't be able to lift that foot up. Draw your chest forwards, breathe in, and breathe out. Okay. Coming back up onto your hands, fall onto the right side and swing your left leg all the way forwards. And bring your right foot into the sole of the left foot, the inside of the left foot. This is where you could use your block. So you can have your block in front of your foot there. And if that's too much today, you can put your block here. Also a nice thing to do. Yeah, but you're reaching towards the foot. Maybe your hand is by your shins. Maybe there's no block at all. Yeah, have a little play with it. See what helps you to feel your left hamstring a little bit more. Breathing in. And breathing out, folding forwards. My hamstring's certainly talking to me. I can definitely feel it. If you need to have a bend in the knee, you can bend the knee. Yeah. Choose what helps you to be in the pose, which shape. Good. All right, so releasing the block if you're using it. Bring yourself right back up. We're going to swing the left leg all the way back behind us. And tucking the back toes, we'll come back into a downward dog. Okay, so have your knees bent, wiggle the hips high towards the sky. Press the heels down one by one. Notice is one leg feeling a little bit colder than the other. Now we do a few rolling the dogs. Okay, so roll yourself forwards into a plank and bend your knees and push your hips back up. Yeah, so just doing that a few times. Just to continue the energy moving through your body. Just getting every muscle moving and working. And then coming back to all fours. Okay, hands below the shoulders, knees below the hips. So we can send the left leg back now, press the toes into the floor. How's that calf feeling on that side now? Breathing in. As you breathe out, you could push back through the foot so that the right knee hovers off the floor. Pressing down through the heel, long breath in. And then long breath out. Good, guys, lowering the right knee to the floor, lift your left leg up. That's it, and then little circles. So as you circle, try and keep the body still, try and keep the back still. Feel the inner and outer thigh working, feel your glute working. You draw your belly back towards the spine as well, you feel your core working. Circle it the other way. That's it. Okay, and then from that strength that you found, push the left heel away and then try and stack that left hip on top of the right, turning the toes to the left. Yeah, so you keep your hands on the floor. And again, drop the hip back down, bring it level. Okay, so a few more times, stacking the hip, turning the toes towards the left, and then dropping the hip back down. Okay, so how's that feel in the supporting leg? As you stack the hip, trying to find the openness in the left hip, the stability in the right, and dropping the hip back down. Let's try one more time, stacking the hip. That's it, and then try and lift the leg a little bit higher, so the outer seam of your leggings or your shorts, tracksuit bottoms, lifts higher. And then you can bend the knee, and we draw a big circle with the knee. Yeah, we're really getting into that hip now. You can shake out your wrists anytime as well. And then take the circles the other way. That's it. And bring your left knee to your left wrist, left foot towards the right wrist. That's it. And then slide the back leg away. And we'll come onto the forearms. And then think about drawing your chest forwards. So the elbows are almost drawing towards your shin. And you're pushing down through the back foot to help you get that extra stretch. Long breath in, draw chest forwards. And long breath out. Good. Awesome, guys. Walking your way back up. Falling on the left side, swing your right leg all the way through. You bring the sole of the left foot to your inner right thigh. Have your hands by your side to help you lift yourself up. And then have a little explore. So what's the best place for you to feel the stretch through your hamstring? Is it with your knee bent? Is it with the block on the top of the thigh? That's pretty good for me on this side. Or maybe the block in front of your foot, stopping your toes from cheating. Wherever you are, try and draw the head and chest forwards. And as you exhale, relax forwards. Really working on warming up the body and being in correct alignment for when we start to flow and move. Coming right back up, releasing the block, swinging the front leg all the way behind us, tucking your back toes, and then we'll come back into your down dog. You got your knees bent, you got your hips high. You can paddle the feet again. Now hopefully both legs are feeling warm, both feet are feeling warm. And then rolling the dog for a moment, rolling the shoulders forwards, bending the knees, pushing the hips up. Again, just trying to get the energy moving through your body. And then finding your downward facing dog. The heels moving towards the floor. Push through your hands, big breath in. And as you breathe out now, lift your right leg to the sky. And then stack your right hip on top of your left. Try and lift the leg even higher now. That's it, those toes turning towards the right. Keep the leg nice and high and then try and drop your right hip down so it comes level again. Then bring your knee into your nose and pop your foot next to your right thumb. Lower the left knee to the floor. Release the left toes and we'll lift the arms up. We'll catch hold of your left wrist with the right hand, lean up and over towards the right. Breath is slow and steady. Left arm onto the right leg. Push your palms together, look up past the top elbow. And then try and move the center of the chest towards your thumbs. Inhale. And as you exhale, take the hands either side, front foot. Come back onto your left knee, right toes to the sky. Gives that hamstring a little bit better. And then we'll step onto the right foot, tuck your back toes under, walk the hands forwards, lift your back knee up, step onto your right leg, lift your left leg up. Can you stack your left hip on top of the right like you did earlier, keeping your hands on the floor? And then drop the left hip back down. Now hands can be on a block. Stack the left hip on top of the right. And then lower the left hip back down. Good. Let's try that one more time. Stacking the left hip on top of the right. Don't forget, hands can be on a block. You can have your chest lifted as much as you like. And then lower the hip back down. Good. Lower left foot next to right. Breathe in, draw the head and chest forward so you've got a halfway lift. And then breathe out and fold forwards. Relax your head. Start to roll your way up so you're coming up vertebra by vertebra. Take the hands behind you, thighs forwards, hips forwards, lean it back. Lift it up and over as you hinge from the hips. Release the hands, scoop the head and chest forwards. And then plant the hands. You could jump back or step back into your plank. Lower down through your vinyasa. Now you can drop your knees if you need to. Come through into your cobra, your upward dog. Take it up and back into your downward facing dog. Squeeze the heels towards the floor. Nice big breath in. Long breath out. Remembering the breath is the soundtrack to the practice. Okay, so as we start to flow, it's easy to forget that. I'll keep reminding you. Lifting the left leg to the sky. Good. And then playing with opening up the hip. Stacking the left hip on top of the right, turning the toes to the left. And then dropping the hip back down. Okay, so try it a few times. Stack the hip. And drop it back down. Okay, last time, stack the hip. Stack that left hip on top of right. Can you lift that left leg a little bit higher? Now try and keep the leg high as you let the toes drop, the hip drop. Yeah, then bring the knee into the nose, pop the foot next to the left thumb. Lower your knee to the floor, release the toes and then come up into your low lunge. And come into that side stretch, catch hold of your right hand as you lean over towards the left side. And then lower the right arm onto the knee, push the palms together. And then if you push the bottom hand into the top hand, you get to bring the chest closer to the thumbs. You're the center of the chest. Looking down, take the hands either side, front foot. And then come back onto your right knee, left toes to the sky. Big breath in, that hamstring starting to give way a little bit. Long breath out, letting go of tension. So stepping onto that left foot, walk your hands forwards, tuck your back toes and lift the back knee. We're going to step onto that left foot. So this is where the block can come in handy. It can also be on its high edge. Okay, but try and lift the right leg up. And then stack your right hip on top of the left. Feel the toes turn to the right. Drop the hip back down. Okay, so all of your awareness is in the hips. Stack your right hip on top of the left. And then drop the hip back down. Good. Last time, stack the hip. Could the leg go a bit higher maybe? And then drop the hip. Awesome, guys. Lower your right foot next to your left. Take a halfway lift and lengthen. Exhale and fold. Now, can you feel your belly on your thighs? Can you feel your rib cage on your thighs? Maybe your nose is getting closer to your shins now. Start to roll your way up. Last thing to come up is the head. Okay, take the hands behind you, thighs forwards, hips forward, lean it back. And then lift it up and over, hinge from the hips. Good. Release the hands. Scoop the head and chest up. And then exhale, plant the hands, jump back, step back, float back. You choose. And then vinyasa, you can drop your knees if you want. Go through your vinyasa, cobra, up dog. Meet me in downward facing dog. Big breath in once you get there. And a long breath out. Feel like the hamstrings are moving to moving away, yeah, towards the back of the mat. Lift your right leg to the sky. Stack your right hip on top of the left. Lift the right leg higher. And then can you drop that right hip back down, keeping it the leg high, toes pointing down. Bring your right knee into your nose, right foot next to your right thumb. Come straight into your high lunge now, lifting your arms up. Good, nice. Drop the back heel 45, walk your front foot forwards, find warrior 2. And then flip the front palm, reach it forwards, take it back, breathe into the side. Good. So now windmill, right hand comes down, big circle, left arm up and overhead. Plant the hands down, right foot to the back, and your vinyasa, go with your flow. Meet me in downward facing dog. Just creating heat, just moving through the poses. Breathing in, left leg to the sky. Try and stack your left hip on top of the right. Lift the leg a little bit higher. Keep the leg high as you let your left hip drop down. And then bring your knee into your nose. Left foot next to your left thumb. Come up into that high lunge. Nice, good. Drop the back heel 45. Walk your front foot towards the right. Reach the fingers away. And then flip the front palm. Lift it up and over your head. Breathe into the side. Windmill, left hand down. Big circle, right arm up and over. Pick the back heel up, front foot to the back. Stay with me, guys. Elbows rush the rib cage as you lower down. Roll through, cobra up dog. Take it up and back into your downward dog. Excellent. So we're going to add on to that. Breathe in, lift your right leg up. Stack the right hip on top of the left, lift the leg higher. Keep the leg high and drop the right hip down, toes pointing down. Knee into nose, slot the foot inside the hands. Come up into your high lunge. Good. Drop the back heel 45. Walk your front foot forwards, warrior two. Yes, good. Flip the front palm, reach it forwards and take it back. Breathe into the side. Awesome, guys. So let's add in what we've learned. Right hand comes down. Big circle, left arm up and over your head. And now plant the left hand down. Lift up the back heel. Step onto your right foot. Reach the right fingers forwards. And then start to lift up the left leg. Now your right hand can be on a block here. Yeah. Otherwise, you're going to stack your left hip on top of the right. Lift the leg a little bit higher. Right hand on the block or on the floor. Left fingers to the sky. Find that half moon. Inhale, good. Can you open up the chest? That's it. Maybe, whoops, you can turn your gaze to the top hand. Remember how it felt with the knee on the floor? Stack the top hip a bit more. That's it, good. Hold it there, breathe in. And as you breathe out, slowly lower your left hand down. Now come into standing splits. You want to lift that left leg up a little bit higher. Bring your nose towards your shin. How high can that top leg go? That's it. Can you drop that left hip more? Looking good. And then lower the left foot next to the right. Good. Bend your knees, sit on your heels. Rock forwards and back. We'll hold onto the elbows and then straighten the legs. So you see if you can really relax into this forward fold, maybe sway from side to side. And then releasing the hands, roll your way up. Last thing to come up is the head. And hands behind you, thighs forwards, hips forwards, lean it back. Lift it up and over, hinge from the hips. Releasing the hands, go with the flow. Inhale, lift the head and chest up. Exhale, plant the hands. How lightly can you jump? Can you step back? Vinyasa, your way. Yeah, but meet me in your downward facing dog. Hopefully energy is rising, blood is pumping. Left leg to the sky. Keep the toes pointing down for a moment. And then stack that left hip. So the toes turn to the side. Lift the leg higher, kind of lost my leg in the screen there. But then we keep the leg high as you try and drop that left hip back down. Bring your knee into your nose, left foot next to your left thumb. Come up into your high lunge. Lift the arms up. Good, we drop the back heel 45, adjust the front foot towards the right. And then flip the front palm, reach it forwards, take it back. Breathe into the side. Windmill, left hand down. All right, so here we go. Right arm up and over your head. Now plant your right hand down. Pick your back heel up. Walk your left hand forwards. Now hands can be on the block, can be on the floor. But you're going to stand onto that left leg and lift your right leg up. That's it. Good. Now start to stack that right hip. And as you stack the hip, be careful not to draw the leg behind you. Bring it forward so if you were to look for your foot, you would see it. Can you lift the leg a little bit higher? Looking good, Emma. And then start to take your right hand up to the sky or not. Yeah, so if you're comfy there, stay there. Nice. Twist the chest, especially the right rib cage more towards the sky. Breathing in. Hold tight, guys. Well done. Hang tight. All looking good, I'm sure. And then taking the right hand to the floor. Keep the right leg lifted. Can you lift that right leg a little bit higher now? Dropping the chest, the nose towards the shin into that standing split. Good. Good. Lift up out of that left hip as much as you can. Good. Nice. One more breath. And then lower the right foot next to the left. Breathing in, draw the head and chest forwards. And then breathing out and folding forwards. Good, lovely. Start to roll your way up. Last thing to come up is the head. Good. So hang tight here. I'm going to bring the hands heart center. Step forwards onto your right foot. And then come into your warrior three. Yeah, so now the chest is square towards the floor. And that left leg is, the toes are pointing down, the left hip is dropped. Now see if you can take all your awareness to your left hip and you're still breathing calmly. Can you open up the left hip as the toes turn towards the left? Notice how much work the right leg has to do. And then drop the hip back down. Try it a few more times. Hands could be on the block if you want, but if you can be in this warrior three shape, left hip stacking, and then left hip dropping down. Good. Have you got one more in you? Stack that left hip on top of the right. This tiny work is massive in your hips. And then drop the hip back down. Bring your left knee into your chest. Woo, that right leg's talking. Hug onto your left knee, squeeze your left thighs. But don't worry if you wobbled your way through that, no problem. You're going to bend your right leg, left ankle on the front of the right thigh, hands heart center, feel the hip, that left hip's nice and loose. Come back to standing, sweep the left leg all the way to the sky, hands to the floor. I know that right leg wants to rest, but come into your standing split. And then lower your left foot next to your right. Time to make your right leg feel good. So coming back up to standing, bring your hands heart center. Stepping onto your left foot. And then into your warrior three. So you're lifting up the back leg, right toes pointing down. Yeah, right hip drop down. Can you stack your right hip on top of the left? Now you can have the hands on the floor if you want, or even on the wall in front of you. And then drop the hip back down. Okay, so movement's got to be slow and steady. Right hip stacks on top of left. Toes turn to the right. Drop the hip back down. Don't worry if hands are on the floor. Last time, stack the hip. Good, can the leg get a bit higher? And then drop the right hip down. Bring your right knee into your chest. That left leg super warm now. Catch hold of your knee. Lift the chest up. Squeeze the right thigh into your chest. And then bending the left leg. Right ankle on the left thigh. Hands heart center. Nice and loosey-goosey in that right hip. Good. Come back to standing on the left leg. Nearly there. Right leg to the sky. Lift the leg up, feel the stretch with that left thigh, left hamstring. And then lower the right foot next to the left. Oof. Inhale, draw the head and chest forwards. And then exhale and fold it forwards. Good, guys, well done. Start to bend your knees. Sit your bum onto the floor. Take both legs out in front. Now there's these options again, so knees can be bent. Block could be on your thigh. On your thighs, that's one of my favorites. Or block can be onto the feet, yeah? So all those options. Where are you today? Where do you feel it in your hamstrings, rather than in your back? So for me, it's the block around the feet, okay, but also the block just tucked into my belly there helps to support the back a little bit while I stretch the hamstrings. Breathing into whatever freedom you find. There might still be stiffness, that's fine. Unfortunately, we're not made of rubber. So we're going to come against some restrictions. And then slowly roll your way back up. Good. So bend your knees. We're going to take the block with us. Press your feet flat onto the floor. And then take the block underneath your sacrum, okay? So lower yourself down. And then push your feet into the floor, lift the hips up, and just slot the block underneath the sacrum there, so not on your spine, okay? And then bring your knees into your chest. Wrap your arms over the tops of the shins. That's it. So it's like the sacrum is pushing into the block. And I don't know, I feel a little bit more here in my spine, in my hips. All is good. Big breath in. If this doesn't suit you, then take the block away. Now you're going to keep hold of your right leg and extend your left leg to the front of the mat. So with the block there, it's this extra stretch. Yeah, so if it's not feeling like a good option for you, then just take the block away. You're breathing in and breathing out. Okay, and as we slow down, that doesn't mean we're finished. Now is the most important part, you know, to harness the energy that you've created and to put it somewhere within your body ready to use throughout your day. We'll bring the left knee in and then extend your right leg away. Breathing in and breathing out. Okay, so extending your left leg out, soles of the feet together now. And again, if this block isn't comfortable, take it away. But otherwise, just let your knees open. Take your arms up and over the head if that suits you. Let your eyes close, let your face relax. Breathe in, belly, rib cage, chest. Breathe out, relax into the mat. After all that movement, just enjoying a bit of stillness. But the breath is that constant movement, that constant rhythm. And carefully bring your knees back up to the center. Push through the feet and lift the hips up to the sky. Use this as your little bridge pose. You could snuggle the shoulders underneath you. You could press your hands into the block if it's there. Really trying to straighten your arms as you wrap your shoulder blades underneath you. And you can take the block to one side and then lower your spine down vertebra by vertebra. Two options, take happy baby or your plyo pose. Yeah. Toes touching the floor behind you or not, maybe they're hovering. Wherever you are, though, you want to make sure there's not weight on your elbow, that the weight isn't in your neck, but in your elbows. Breathing into whatever stiffness, whatever tightness is there. Maybe even taking your shoulders down today, heels into bottom, feet straight up to the sky. These are all options. Lowering the legs back down, rest your hands on the floor, and then start to lower the spine down. Okay, you can come into any shape that suits you, maybe legs out to the corners of the mat, maybe soles of the feet together. Maybe it's something else that you would like to do today. Yeah. But really just these last few moments to bring everything together. So you spent the last 45 minutes listening to your body and exploring how it moves, exploring where there's tension, where there's tightness, where there's freedom. So your mind has had a rest from all those continuous questions and statements. So in this moment, relax completely. Hopefully your house or wherever you are is still nice and quiet. So if you have time and you can stay there for 5 minutes, maybe slip into a meditation and do that. If you're ready to move, start to breathe a little bit deeper. Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. And a breath in to reach your arms above the head and do that lovely full body stretch. Roll to the right side into a fetal shape. And then make your way up to seated to face the front or face the camera, but just be comfortable wherever's comfortable. Hands heart center, thumbs into the chest bone. Maybe just bringing your awareness to Bank Holiday Monday. What is it that you want to get from today? Is it some time out? Is it time with friends? Is it time with family? Is it to be totally present wherever you're at? What is it that you want from this day? And sealing that intention with a big breath in through your nose. Open mouth, exhale, let it go. Thank you so much for joining me today. Namaste. Have a great day, guys. Or a great evening, depending when you're doing this. See you soon.